So let's talk a little bit about arpeggios. So I'm going to show you 3 ways you can play an arpeggio and then show you how to play all the different arpeggios in a key, and it's really easy. So first of all, there's 3 basic ways to play an arpeggio. Say if we're in the key of A. Basic arpeggio is built out of the root, the 3rd and the 5th of the chord. So here's the root, and then you go up 3 notes, so there's your 3rd, and then you go up to the 5th note. So those are the 3 notes, 1, 3, 5. So that's one way to play an arpeggio. You can also play it like this, or you can play it like this. So those are kind of 3 ways you can do it. So this way, it's kind of like going backwards this way. This way is like in the middle, and then this way is going forwards. I'll just use that so that we can kind of have a little bit of language based around arpeggios. So one of the cool things about the guitar is once you've learned to play the arpeggio in one octave, you can just then jump up to the next octave and so on. So for example, if you're going to play the arpeggio like this, root, 3rd, 5th, jump up to your next octave. Octaves are always like this on the guitar. So you just go like this, and then exactly the same thing, and then you jump up to the next octave, which is over 1 more because of the way the guitar's tuned. It's a wider span there. And then you got this. So a 3 octave A major arpeggio can be played like this. Okay. So there's other ways you can play it too. You can play it like this, or you can play it down here like this. So there's different ways you can play it. So you can do the same thing with minor chord. You could play an A minor chord down here like this, going backwards like this, or you could play it going this way, or this way. So there's your root, 3rd, 5th, which repeats. Okay, now here's where it gets interesting. The way music works is in every key, there's basically 3 chords that are really important, the 3 major chords. Most rock music and blues music is built around kind of 3 chord tricks, right? So like say, for example, we're in the key of G. The important chords are G, C, and D. That's the 1, 4, 5. So what we do first of all is figure out the arpeggios for those 3 chords. You know, you can play it down here, like this. So it's like a cowboy chord arpeggio. Or you can play it here, or over here. Or you can mix them up as well. That's where it kind of gets more interesting, is if you use like the middle position here, and then the backwards one here, 1, 3, 5, across 3 strings. So right, that arpeggio there, I'm using all 3 shapes. Okay, so here's the basic way to play the arpeggios in the key of G. Let's go all the way up here. Here's our root note G. And I'm going to use the backwards shape. So a G arpeggio will go like this, 1, 3, 5. And then let's use the middle shape on top. So there's your whole arpeggio. So you got this. Okay, so the next chord would be C, and just take exactly the same shape and play it here. And then the next chord is D. I'll play it down here though, an octave lower, so it's a bit easier. Okay, so you've got 3 chords in the key of G, and we're going to arpeggiate them like this. And then here. So you've got G, 1, 3, 5, C,